You ever feel like you're torn between keeping the peace and speaking your truth? You know that moment when conflict arises and your heart races and your mind floods with possibilities and you just want to disappear into your favorite fantasy or sci-fi world? As an INFP, you're not alone in this quest, but avoiding conflict doesn't make it go away. It's like trying to ignore a boss battle in an RPG or some unexplored dungeon that will always be there, growing darker and more intimidating. Your personality type is structured uniquely in order to handle conflicts, if you know how to do it. Your inner party members, your cognitive functions, specifically the Soul Introverted Feeling and the Explorer Extraverted Intuition, are your special support team in this quest. So let's talk about how these characters work in conflict so that you can have a deeper understanding of who you are and how you approach conflict. And that means that you can do something different. So the Soul Introverted Feeling keeps track of every unspoken word, every suppressed feeling until they become too heavy to carry. It's deeply aware of what matters most to you. It's that character that is saying, this is what is important to you. And you need to live in alignment, in harmony with this. And then you also have your auxiliary function, the Explorer, NE, Extroverted Intuition. I'll just keep slapping on jargon on top of it. The Explorer allows you to springboard ideas into different directions and find unique ways of solving problems. The Explorer scouts ahead for multiple possibilities and creative solution. If you know where you want to go, the Explorer will say, go this way, and then you can loop around back here, and that's how you can get there. When I started learning Japanese, I didn't know how to say almost anything, but I had a couple key words, and I had to find ways to loop around it to get to a similar idea that I wanted to convey. And I know for a lot of INFPs, we don't want a similar word. We want the exact word. But that's not always possible. And it's never possible. Nobody understands exactly what is going on inside of us. Words are just a way of conveying the closest approximation. So metaphors are very helpful for that too, but likely things are not going to be 100% expressed. What I've found though is that conflict isn't your enemy. It's actually this rare opportunity for a deep connection and growth. But it can feel scary because we don't know if we're wrong, and then we need to reassess our identity, or if we're flawed, or if we'll get cast off into the wilderness alone because we said something wrong. Anyway, together, the Soul and the Explorer create this powerful combo move, like team tactics. You get authentic communication with creative problem solving. That is what arguments and fights need, and conflict is solved through being able to understand another person and being able to find a creative way of allowing them to win and you to win. So this is the general strategy. First, let the Soul identify what truly matters in the situation, not just to you, but in the other person, in the individual. What is important to them? And then allow the Explorer to generate multiple different perspectives, different solutions, different ways that you can handle the problem, and allow both of you to arrive at a satisfactory endpoint. 3, express your feelings using I statements. I feel hurt when, instead of you always. This is a hard one, but if you dissociate them from the name calling or from the problem, then things are going to be a lot better. Nobody wants to hear, you make me feel like this. Because then it's them as a person, they are bad, they're causing the problem. But if you go down a couple rungs from identity into the actions that are taken, make me feel like this, or this thing that happened, I felt like this because of that. Then it's a lot easier to digest, and it doesn't feel like an attack on the person themselves. And I know you hate that too. So having awareness of that is very helpful. Also, if you get triggered by something like that, it likely means that there's something within you that maybe you haven't dealt with yet, something that you don't like yet. And it allows you to improve yourself as well, which is something that we love to do. So if there's conflict, it's likely a signal, if you're heated up about it, that something has stepped on one of your values. And it's important to figure out how to use that value more in your daily life. And yes, it might feel like you've tried it before and nothing has worked. I've read that comment so many times. But if you've actually tried everything, then likely something has worked. We try stuff and then we generalize it into, well, I've done everything. Have you really done everything? Have you tap danced on an elephant while playing the kazoo in order to solve the conflict? Probably not. Okay, I know that's a silly example, but you haven't done that, right? But maybe your people-pleasing tendencies will try to pull you back into comfort zone. Maybe your fear of failure will pull you back into your comfort zone. Maybe you're an Enneagram Type 9, you just don't want to rock the boat at all because you're afraid that you will be sent off, that you'll be outcast, and nobody will be there to love or protect you, and you'll starve. Remember that every hero's journey involves facing fears and growing stronger. That's part of the cycle. And your relationships also deserve this level of courage and authenticity and devotion. It's important. By embracing conflict as a path for deeper connection, not that you need to create conflict, but knowing that it's going to happen, so you might as well get good at dealing with it by using your personality type skills. Then you can transform from someone who is avoiding battles to a hero who is facing them. The soul and the explorer aren't just for dreaming or writing stories or imagination. They're for creating real, meaningful change in your relationships. And if you're ready to level up your relationships as an INFP, then check out this video over here and see you next time. Peace.